Beginning our practice with the legs crossed. And feeling free again to even offer a little bit of added height, whether it's from maybe a couch cushion or a pillow. Offer a space where your knees can drop down. You can rock forward into your pelvis. And then the placement of your hands. You can either have them placed down on the knees. You can feel the weight of your hands into your thighs. If you'd like to open to receive a little more energy today, turn your palms to face up and see how that even invites the shoulders to draw back in space. And then elongate your spine, get tall. Loop your shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Anything that you need to do to get really comfortable in your tall seat. And then close your eyes. And for those of you who I maybe haven't connected with at the studio and you're joining our online classes, my name's Helena. I'm the owner of Infine Feather Yoga. And it brings me great joy to be sharing this practice with you from this creative outlet. So as you find your seat this morning and tap into your breath, lengthening your inhales and your exhales, inviting the breath to be just a little bit more full than it was a few moments ago. I want you to feel reminded of how we've all been able to connect here this morning through creative resources. Fuller breaths in and deeper breaths out. And as we settle into day 10 of the yoga studio being closed, I'm amazed by our resiliency, and not just the community of Infine Feather, but everyone around us who's tapping into their own inspiration and their own creative resources to stay in contact with other people. So as the days go by, this might get a bit more challenging, but we're using our yoga practice to manifest and to embody certain strengths and qualities. And today I want you to feel inspired by your own creativity. The creative mind's ability to stay busy, to maybe engage in new activities, to find new ways to reach out to other people, perhaps you're at home even trying something new. Watch the breath travel all the way up and down the spine. Watch the breath fill your chest, and your ribs and your belly. Watch as you exhale, the belly softens, the ribs hug in, your shoulders relax down. We'll take 8 to 10 more breaths like this. And myself being inspired by the number of resources that are out there right now coming online. My sister's doing online cooking classes with her daughter. My dad is calling me every day to share a new favorite YouTube song, maybe inspired by music, by cooking, by new art, by a yoga practice, becoming more regular with it. What's one way that you can be creative today? And if nothing comes up just yet, this is okay. Invite your yoga practice to create some space in the body and space in the mind to maybe do something you've been wanting to do for a while. One more deep breath in. Letting go, breath out. Soften the gaze. Start to move. You can roll out your wrists. Plant your feet down. Have space behind you to roll onto your back. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Massage the back body, rock side to side. And watch as you rock side to side how this slowly brings even a bit of a rotation up through the low back, mid back. A massage for the back body, the sacrum, the base of the spine. Knees come back in towards center, hug them in, and then round your spine, nose towards knees, try to squeeze yourself in. Come up just a little bit higher into a tiny little ball, and then release yourself down. Hands holding onto the knees, take them out wide. This might be just enough of an opening through the hips here. Or maybe take the hands to the inside of your knees, grab for your shins. Maybe grabbing for your ankles, your feet, happy baby pose. The heels can go high to the sky and use your hands to draw your knees down. Slowly rocking side to side to encourage the position just to be a bit more fluid. Letting flow and fluidity be an inspiration for our practice. Sometimes that can really help us tap into our creative energy. You know, things don't have to be so structured or one-dimensional. Not even being so concerned about the shape of your pose, but how your pose feels. Guide your knees back in towards one another. And then in your best way, bringing yourself up into a tabletop position. You might rock and roll yourself a few times. Or roll over to the right side and draw yourself forward and up. And once you come to hands and knees, spread your fingers wide. Look under your belly, knees are under your hips. Then gaze past your fingertips on an inhale breath. Look over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Creating like a C shape with your spine. Come back through to centered length and breathe in. Looking left, breathing out. Back to center. Take your gaze to the right. Center, gazing left. Move on your own breath. Just passing through the midpoint, so it's like you're never actually stopping. The movement should start to feel a little more constant. And unless there's any sticky areas in the spine or the side body and you want to hold for an extra moment to open, And then bring yourself back to center once you've completed both sides evenly. Flip your toes if they aren't already. Let's send some weight back into the heels. Stretch out through the arches of your feet. And if this feels okay, lift your torso slowly up. Hands can rest on thighs. Try to lengthen your spine up, getting taller. Just one more round of breath here. Take the weight back into your hands, uncurling the toes, press through the tops of your feet, and maybe you tap your feet down. Letting that go. Next inhale breath, step your hands forward a foot. Bring your hips slightly forward, but keep the core contained. And then lower down onto your belly. Once you're on the belly, point your toes back. Even slide your thumbs back so your elbows point towards the sky. Lift and peel your heart up, breathe in. The neck should stay fairly relaxed, so try to keep the shoulders away from your ears. Feet pressing down, pubic bone pressing down to lengthen your lower back rather than compress it. Lower your chest, release the heart, let that go. Waving the heart up, breathe in. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lower down, breathe out. Do this one more time, heart comes forward and up. Exhale, release down. Press into your hands. Send your hips to your heels, child's pose. Let it be passive. Rest your forehead. Rest your forearms. Find some stillness. Find your breath. Moving through our slow flow practice today to try to inspire some space, to tap into our creative self. Creative ways throughout our day and week that we can connect to each other, connect on a higher level to ourselves. Come back forward into the hands. Hands are set to shoulder distance, so try not to put them on a narrow base. Flip your toes. Together we'll come into downward dog, lift your hips up, and send your hips back. Invite a lift to your heels and maybe a deeper bend through your knees. So you start to send your belly back towards your thighs. Shake your head out. Press through the hands to send your hips back a little further. Come high onto your tiptoes, look forward to your thumbs, and then step, walk, or hop yourself forward. Come into a ragdoll forward fold, either elbows resting on knees, head dropping in space. If your hamstrings feel fairly open, you just want to make sure the back body is supported. Maybe your belly's coming onto your thighs. Then watch the engagement in your legs as you bring some weight forward into your toes. Do you feel your toes grip? Maybe the quads brace just a bit to hold you. Active legs. And then walking your hands up your thighs and shins, let's roll ourselves up to standing until the crown of your head comes all the way up. Loop your shoulders up, back, and down. On an inhale, sweep the arms high, get tall. Take a big dive forward, let it go. Flatten your back and lift your chest. Bend your knees enough for your fingertips to go down. Take your left foot and step it to the back of your mat. Let's ground the left knee down. Root into the right knee, lift your torso up. Finding your low lunge, the option to sweep your arms high. Try to soften your shoulders down the back. Bend through your elbows like a cactus style. And then open the chest. Slowly lift your gaze, lean slightly back. Letting the front body open, but not bending back so far that you can't maintain inhale and exhale. Breathe deeply. Bring your spine back to neutral. Plant your hands down, and then we'll just switch the legs. So lift off the back knee, right foot steps back, left foot steps forward. Back knee plants down. Knee on top of ankle, the torso lifts up. Float the arms when you're steady. So try not to think about the back bend being overextended from your lower back. Draw the tailbone down, lengthen your pubic bone up. So moving energy in two directions. And then as you bend your elbows to cactus style, let the heart lift. Let your chest lift. The gaze follows, but we're keeping lots of space at the back of the neck. A breath on purpose. Release your hands down. Back knee lifts up. Stepping back to downward dog. Pedal the feet out. Sway your hips. One more inhale and exhale. Lift your heels, look forward, then step, walk, or hop to the top of your space. Flatten your back and lift your heart. Bow back in, release your head. Rise to stand, sweep up, gaze up. Press your hands down through to heart center. Collective inhale. Open your mouth, sigh your breath out, exhale. And then take one foot, step it back, and turn all 10 toes in the same direction. So you're taking up the length of your mat. Good. On an inhale, reach the arms out and puff through your chest. Bow forward. Bend your knees so the head releases down. Maybe you give the head a shake. Maybe even a little bounce through the knees. And then same like our first forward fold, watch as you bring weight into your toes. Do the legs activate a little bit more? How is your breath here? Walk your fingers forward. Bend your knees and lift your torso up, strong through your legs. Good, then taking just the right toes and pivot them out to face the one edge of your mat. Warrior two, bend your right knee. Extend the arms out. Maintaining knee on top of ankle. A wingspan with the arms. And let's floss a little bit through the shoulders. Take your palms, turn them up. Try to roll the thumbs back. Turn your palms to face down. Try to draw the pinkies forward. Inhale, palms face up. Exhale, turn them down. One more time. On your next inhale breath, Straighten your front leg, reach your arms overhead, maybe your palms can touch. Exhale, bend your front knee, sweep the arms back out. Inhale, arms sweep high, front leg straightens. Exhale, lunging into your warrior, bend the knee. Good, 2 more times. Your arms can reach all the way up and all the way down. The next time you bend to your warrior 2, just hold for a breath. Notice the activation through your legs. Release your hands onto your hips. Straighten the right leg out. Tuck your right toes back in. We'll set up for warrior 2 on the opposite side. So pivot left toes to the opposite side of your mat. Bend through left knee. Arms reach out. Sometimes it's nice to even feel your hands on your hip bones, watching that you're not leaning forward, you're not reaching back, the hip bones are level. Activating shoulders on this side, palms facing up. Rotate palms face down, and see if you can find a little bit more of that movement through the whole shoulder girdle, so it's not just the hand and the wrist moving. Try and think about the whole arm bone moving. Find neutral with the hands. Let's start to work through the left leg. Straighten it out, float the arms up. Rebend, arms can sweep all the way down, so you're making like a big wingspan with the arms. Inhale to straighten, exhale to bend. Can you move on the rhythm and the cycle of your own breath? You're reminding yourself that the movement doesn't have to look one way. Maybe even trying something that feels a little bit foreign, a little bit different, out of your comfort zone to play with creative space in our body. And then land in your warrior 2 for a breath. Bring hands back onto your hips. Straighten the left leg, and then let all 10 toes face the same direction again. Arms reach out, puff your chest. Bow forward. Exhale, head heavy. With fingertips touching down to something, even if that means bending your knees. Walk your hands forward so your shoulders stack on top of your wrists. Arms straight. Right hand comes onto the right hip. Loop the right shoulder up towards the ear, draw it down your back, and see if that gives you some space to turn your chest towards the right side. Good, bend your knees so the legs are supporting you. The gaze can follow, and watch for any pinching in the neck or the shoulder, the option to extend your right arm into this twist. Reaching it high to the sky. Good, hold the twist for another breath in and out. Look down first. Slowly release the right hand down. Then re-lengthen the spine. Lift your chest up. Left hand onto left hip. Right hand holds you. Press your right hand down into the earth. Loop the left shoulder. Getting again the whole shoulder girdle moving before twisting. Your hand can stay exactly where it is or reach it to the sky. And you can often tell if you've taken the arm high and anything in the body starts to feel like sharp or shaky, the breath gets limited. That's your guideline to maybe bring your hand back to the hip and work from that space for now. Sounded breath on purpose. Look down, take the left hand down, bend both knees, rise up to center. You'll take your toes and turn them to the corner edges of your mat. Goddess squat, bend your knees. Try to open up your knees over your toes. If your shoulders feel tight today, hands can come to prayer. They can stay on your hips or cactus style the arms out. If you already feel like there's maybe been enough happening through your shoulders, stay hands to center. Then start to lean into the right leg, lean into the left. Just rock side to side, engaging through the inner thighs. Land somewhere in center. Holding for 3. Constant breaths. In and out for 2. Feel the activation in the legs, but the steadiness in your breath. On your next inhale, straighten your legs as you float your arms up. Release your hands down. Step yourself up to the top of your mat. And shake off a little bit. Take any water if you need some water. Notice what's happening through the lower body, the upper body. Does there maybe feel a shift in some space? Take a moment to tune in again to the ways in which we can be creative today, whether it's through music, through art, through yoga, through technology, through dancing, through laughter, through telling jokes. Arms reach high, breathe in. Bow your body forward, breathe out, release your head. On an inhale, flatten your back and lift your chest. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, stepping into our first plank position. If you're keeping your knees lifted, try to keep the hips in line with your shoulders. Of course, you have the option to take your knees down. Look past your mat and slowly lower onto your belly. Pointed toes, slide the thumbs back, lift your heart up. The option to come into your full upward dog if you're craving that full front body opening. Hips move back in space, flip your toes, downward facing dog. Send your hips high. You can always check in with your hands, make sure there's space between your fingers. Really braining through the hands to pull your hips back in space. One more breath. Float your right leg high behind you. See if you can bend at the right knee to roll your right hip to open. Your left heel can stay lifted, your left knee can stay bent. We're just trying to really open up through the right hip. Hug your right knee in towards your chest, squeeze it in, and then flicker step your right foot through. This time we'll just ground to the back heel. Shorten your stance to plant it down. Lengthen your spine, inhale. We'll fold into that front thigh, exhale. Bend your knees enough again for your hands to be down. If your hamstrings are really tight, maybe your hands are being placed below the knee, on the shin or the ankle, or even elbows above the knee. Encouraging a forward fold. Bend the front leg as much as you need to drop your head down. The invitation for it to be fluid always. It doesn't have to be so rigid or one-dimensional. Nothing is black or white. You might want to rock forward into your front toes, rock back into your heel, flex front toes towards your face, lifting the back heel. Rocking, lifting your front toes. Maybe land somewhere for a breath or two. Look up halfway. Engage the front leg, bend your knee, lift your torso up. Warrior one. And then we'll take the hands behind the back. try to bring your fists together. If you can get your fists together, squeeze the shoulder blades together so the heart starts to lift up. If you're familiar with reverse prayer, the backs of your hands can come to touch. Heart lifting up. Breathe into all those spaces, fill up, receive the breath into your chest, your ribs and your belly. Come back to a neutral spine. Float your hands all the way down. Step yourself back into downward dog. Pedal out your feet. Feel the right and left side. Your option for flow or vinyasa in between, high to low push-up, know your modifications. Knees dropping down, chest coming down. Cobra or upward dog. We meet in downward dog on your own time. Left leg floats high. Point your left knee to the sky. Try not to lock out the right leg. Keep a little bend to it. Left knee to chest. Squeeze in and step your foot through. Shorten your stance for your back heel to plant down. We're trying to keep our hips square to the earth. Tented fingers lift up halfway. Again, maybe even hands onto your shin. Fold to bow. Massage the muscle. If it's tight, rock yourself forward and back. And then settle in. Be conscious and aware to 3 full breaths. As you bring your gaze up, bend your left knee. Let it get strong. Lift your torso. Shoulders stack on top of the hips. Inhale to sweep your arms up. Exhale to sweep your arms back, bringing your fists together. And trying to avoid the fists right in the lower back where we're already hypermobile, try to draw the fists up a little bit more towards the mid-back if you can. Broaden through your collarbones. Find the breath moving into those 3 spaces: chest, ribs, belly. Gaze comes to neutral, hands release down. Step both feet back to downward dog. The option for one last vinyasa, high plank to your push-up. Try to lower your chest, your belly, your thighs together. Inhale to cobra or upward dog. Lead with the heart. And this time we'll take child's pose, hips to heels. Rest your head, rest your forearms. Sounded breath in. Letting go, breath out. Do that one more time. Sounded breath in. Open your mouth, release your breath out. Walk your hands towards the right top corner of your mat. Maybe your left hand stacks on top of the right. Walk the hands back through to center, move them in the opposite direction. Right hand stacking on left. Come to center. Lift your torso, swing your legs around, make your way onto the bum. Hands can be placed back behind you. Windshield wipe your knees from side to side. It feels good often for the thighs and the hip sockets if you take your feet wider than hip distance. Go one more time each way. Feet plant into center. Roll yourself down onto the back. Knees come into the chest. Let your hands guide the knees in circles around to the right, into the left. If you'd like to even just do this with the hands on the belly, you can let gravity take the legs, or a little bit of muscular energy move the legs. And then begin to circle your knees the opposite direction. Knees to chest. Arms stretch out. Slowly drop the knees towards the right side. Now, a few important modifications for you here. That if your left shoulder comes away from the earth, let that arm wrap back into your belly. If you have space between your thighs, try to support that space using maybe your pillow or blanket. Wanting the position to feel a bit more passive. And I see people grabbing for their props. It's just so we're not pulling on the spine with the weight of the legs and the rotation. Take 4 or 5 more breaths. Your own pace, you'll return to the back. Knees will come back to center, and maybe you're realigning the pelvis, realigning the spine for it to be long and straight. And drop your knees the opposite direction. Watch for the right shoulder lifting, wrap it into the body. So even we're not hanging off the shoulder, creating strain from the spine, inwards from there. Let the weight be planted. And same thing with your knees. Your eyes can close. I always know a home practice feels a little bit different than the sanctuary of our studios, but see how we're even getting creative in our home spaces to still make this practice available. How that the mindfulness of this practice is important and valuable. Even if we can check out and just find a few moments of peace and quiet. Or glimpses of connecting inwards. You know, we need this right now. This reminder of our creative selves. A community of people that are inspired to stay healthy, to keep a good mindset. Last breath in your twist. Return to your back on your own. And this is where I encourage you to scan your body from the crown of your head, working down through the chest and your arms, your abdomen, your legs. If any other movement would support you to take rest in Shavasana, a gentle back bend or happy baby. When you're ready, you'll extend your arms and legs. Maybe there's an item that you need to stay warm. As we slow down to rest in Shavasana. Palms facing the sky. Looking to receive some of the fluidity of our practice. Extend it out like this. Open body, open mind, open heart. To see if we can continue to use our practice to channel energy into our lives. Using some of this open space to inspire creativity while we're at home. Rest in this space and trust that my voice will slowly guide you back. Start to lengthen your breath. Perhaps even hearing the sound of your breath through the back of your throat. Start to wiggle fingers or toes as we bring in some new energy to guide us through our day. I invite you to become as playful and as creative as possible. Even catch yourself being silly. We need to find these little moments of joy wherever we can throughout our day. Even if it means you're talking to your cat a little more than usual. Rock your head side to side, filter in some light, flutter your eyes. And when you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest. Gradually make your way up into a seated position. From seated, reach the arms overhead, get tall. Pull your hands in towards heart center. Acknowledging the ways in which all of us have been creative. And perhaps that creativity has inspired other people around you. Keep that energy moving, keep it flowing. One more breath in. Full breath out. Thank you so much for sharing your creative spaces with me, recognizing the best and highest within us all. Namaste.